Chia. Yo, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. What up? What up? What up? Good afternoon, good evening, and all of that. It's TIMS Tuesday. Oh man, this is our finale episode. This is episode 10 of season 1. What up? What up? What up? Welcome in. Welcome in. Pretty excited right now. We got a great show lined up for y'all today. What up? What up? Carlos, what's going on? Mr. Cheese, what up? Yo, Mr. Cheese, I sent you a message. I don't know if you hit me back yet, but we got to chop it up. Tap the screen, share it live. We back with another episode of TIMS Tuesday. Yeah, you know what? It definitely did. I ain't gonna, it took too long for this episode. We gonna talk about that. We already at episode 10, man. We at episode 10. That's crazy. 10? So this is gonna be the wrap up for season 1. We're gonna take a break after this. For sure. Check your WhatsApp. Yeah, man, we on episode 10, man. Season 1 is a wrap. This is it. This is gonna be the final episode of season 1. We're gonna take a few weeks off. We're gonna keep the work going. We're gonna continue to do the work. Turn this down a little bit. We're gonna continue to do the work though. You know what I mean? We got some work to do. We've been building up a team. We've been putting some things into order. Got a lot of things we've been working on, and it's starting to come together perfectly. It's that divine timing, you know what I mean? So we definitely have some great things in store for y'all. So I'm actually kind of happy the way we're going to be ending off this season 1, episode 10. I've been trying to get this person on for a minute, and it's like I said, it's God's timing, man. The way God has something planned for you, it's gonna be that way. So yeah, man. Couple things that I want to quickly mention. We're gonna be taking the next few weeks off. It's always been the plan. We're gonna do 10 episodes, take 4 weeks off, come back for season 2, do another 10, take another few weeks off, and then come back for season 3. So now that we're wrapping up season 1, you know, that's the plan. We'll be back, you know, in a few weeks with some more guests, with some more great stories. So I hope everybody's gonna tune in for that. Welcome, everybody coming in. But while I have you guys, before I bring up my guests, I want to make sure that I plug in for my Linktree. So my Linktree has the link to all the previous episodes of TIMS Tuesday. So you could check out the playlist for TIMS Tuesday on YouTube. The link is in my bio, so you can check it out. I've had a lot of great guests on here with a lot of great stories. So if you haven't had the time to check in and catch the lives, you could definitely catch the playbacks on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. We have a lot of content that's going to be, posted there, and also to TikTok too. So if you don't follow me now, please follow me now. You know what I mean? Since you're in here, make it easy on yourself. Go ahead and hit that follow. And yeah, man, I got a lot of great things lined up for you guys. So let's go ahead and tap that screen. Let's get the likes up. Let's get some more people in here. Share the live out. I have a great guest who's going to be in here today. So if y'all check the promo, y'all already know. And this has been in the works for a minute, so I'm very excited. Yo, Joker, what up? DJ Joker's in the building. Yeah, man. So I know, there's a lot of things that we got to do still. Like our content has been building, and you know the lives have been building as well. So I want to thank everybody for continuously showing support for this series and for all the other things that we have in store. I have a lot of stuff coming for y'all, man. I'm really excited to be able to share all of that with y'all as well. But just keep your eye out. And if you don't have your notifications turned on to my page, go ahead and turn them on now, because like I said, we're coming back for season 2 in a few weeks, and we're wrapping up season 1 today. So let me give a little introduction to my guest. I'm going to be bringing her up shortly. So when I first started this, I had a few people in mind that I was already planning to interview. And throughout the process, I kind of met people along the way that I was like, man, I really want to get this person on. And she's definitely one of the first people I reached out to. And, you know, scheduling and things like that, you know, you never know how it's going to work out, or if it will work out. So the fact that we have her, you know, lined up to end season 1, like I said, man, it's divine timing, man, God's timing. So I'm really excited. I'm going to go ahead and send her the invite. Awakening Faith, what up? And for anybody who you know, is just tuning in for the first time, once we get started with the interview, I won't be, you know, paying attention too much to the comments. I invite you guys to communicate with each other. What up, what up, what up, what up?
What's good? Thank you for having me on. I'm super excited.
Yeah, so what's good, Janine? So for just so you know also, typically once we're in the interview and we're chopping it up, I don't typically pay too much attention to the comments. I focus all my attention on my guest, and I save a few minutes at the end for, you know, the people, so that they could get their questions in, or they could tap in and you know, maybe ask anything or share any comments or anything like that. So I'm just letting you know I won't be paying any mind to that. You know, if you want to, cool, but I won't. I'm going to give you my undivided attention for the time that we have. So first and foremost, I want to thank you for being here.
Absolutely. I love your whole setup. It's such a vibe.
Like, yeah, man, it took a while. So if for anybody who hasn't seen like earlier episodes of when this started, my people kind of pushed me into doing this. I kept talking about, yo, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this. And like, yo, when you going to do it? And it was a Monday. And I was like, yo, I'm going to do it on a Tuesday. I'm going to do this thing. And they're like, yo, tomorrow's Tuesday. Let's go.
Turning up on a Tuesday.
Yeah. And I was just like, all right, so we're doing this on tomorrow. We're going to do this tomorrow. And, you know, if you watch the episodes, I feel like I watched them on Sunday. I kind of like was just scrolling through my the playlist on YouTube. And I'm like, man, we kind of came a long way in just a short 10 weeks. So, yeah, it came together. It's a little vibe in here right now.
Very
like,
lovely. I love it.
So what's up? How's your day going?
The day has been very busy and productive as always. I try to stay booked and busy.
Okay.
So it's been a good day. And yourself, how was your day?
It was good. I mean, I know that you had some action, in a sense, some what do you call it? Imposter. You had an imposter situation today.
This is actually the 4th imposter. I have never been through something like this before. Very interesting. But, you know, I posted a video. I'm like, listen, if you want to collab or you need some support, I'm the most humble person on here. Just ask for some help and I got you.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's funny because I think it's in a way, like, at least from what I saw, right, from the page, it looked like it was like just trying to feed off the clout. But they did all right with it, though. They had 1,000 followers already.
I'm like, yo, how long was this going on? Because, like, I think they almost had like 1,200 followers.
Yeah,
like and I went through the list. And I hit up all my friends. I'm like, listen, if you're following this page, it's not me. I have one page and one page only, guys, just to throw that out there.
Did anybody else reach out to you like, yo, what's up with this page?
No, you were the first one. I had no clue. So I'm so grateful to you for pointing that out.
It's funny.
Mentioned too. They were like, oh, you know, I know you have 2 pages. I'm like, no, I don't. So I assumed that's the one they were talking about.
Okay. And it's funny because what I was doing was, normally I make my promo videos because, you know, you never know what's going to happen. I make the promo video the day of in case somebody, you know, has a situation, whatever. I don't want to promote it too early and then something happens. So I went to your page. I was looking for, like, do a search for your page so I could get some content to, like, create a little promo. So I see the second page. I'm like, oh, I didn't know she had a backup page. So I clicked on that one first. And the first video is like a twerk video or something. I'm like, that is definitely not her content. And then I see the other one was a recent picture. I mean, like a recent post, like one of your recent videos, or at least one that I've seen recently. It might be one of your pinned ones. So I'm like, oh, maybe this is her account. Let me just send it to her just in case, like, maybe she don't even know this exists.
That a lot. Thank you
no
for
doubt.
letting me know.
Yeah. So normally I start off with a kind of like a simple question. Being that we do this on TikTok, I always wonder, and everybody's story is different. So I always wonder what brought you to TikTok.
I'm not gonna lie, my 12-year-old daughter brought me to TikTok. She was
Wow.
like, "You're such a personality. Your raps are so dope." She was really like the force behind this. She's been begging me to come onto TikTok for like months prior before I joined.
Really?
And I'm like, I don't know, Layla. I don't do, TikTok. I had 52 Instagram followers. I'm like, no one's gonna like me on this platform. I'm quirky. I'm a little weird at times. I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
So I was just really like, kind of like, I don't know. But then I downloaded the app, I started scrolling, and I'm like, wow, there's hilarious videos. This is so dope. This is cool. Maybe I can, try to be a content creator. And I just started posting videos, and next thing you know, I had like 10,000 followers. I was like, what is going on?
What?
Guys, thank you
So
for the love.
were your original like your original posts all like your raps or like what was your original content? Because I feel like for me I was like trying different things when I first started posting stuff. So like, what was your original post about? Like, what were
I
you doing?
still didn't know what the platform was about. I obviously everybody compares me to Cardi B, so my actual first original TikTok post was a Cardi B sound.
Ah,
It's
okay.
not on there. I probably should have left it up because I had no clue it would be like this whole thing months later. But really just funny videos. I would imitate the sounds.
Okay.
And then eventually, as I continue, I've always been a writer and a poet. As I started writing my poetry, I started like, playing around with raps because everyone would say to me, your poems sound like raps. So I'm like, you know what, let me try this. And then the whole rapping poet came about.
That's yeah, because like I definitely know that I think that's probably the first, like, you scroll through the FY, the For You page or whatever, and then
Yeah.
I think the first time I came across your page, it was like one of those videos, and then you were live at that time. So like I saw that video and then I clicked on the live and then I saw what you were. I think you were doing a battle maybe the first time, but I thought it was like everything that you explained was kind of my first thought. She's kind of quirky. She's kind of, I know I definitely hear like a New York accent. Like I'm from Jersey, so I know you know a New York accent. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody thinks they know a New York accent, but I go to the South and they say that I have a New York accent. I'm like, no, from Jersey. So I recognize that right away, and then I'm like, okay, so she raps, she does the lives. Okay, so I started watching the live. I think, um, and then yeah, so it's like you have a cool vibe, you have a cool like your overall persona is more like very laid back. You touched on the poetry thing, which I guess for me, I thought you were just like a female rapper. Now I don't say just a female rapper.
Yeah.
I kind of came out the wrong way, but a female rapper, I thought. Um, but it's, in watching your content, seeing your stuff, I know now it's you call it a rapping poet.
Yeah. It's more like I rap for people more to hear the lyrics and the bars. It's more the lyricism and the writing for me. I'm more of a behind the scenes person, so I never wanted to be an artist. I've had a lot of opportunities. I've met Cedric the entertainer. I have friends that are models. I have friends that are in the industry already. And so I've been to like different events and parties and I've had like numerous offers to do other things. But it's not what I wanted. I want to be more behind the scenes. I would like, if I'm winning a Grammy for writing someone else's song, that's my dream.
Okay.
And so it's more for people to understand and hear the lyricism than being the actual artist for me.
That's you kind of already touched on one of the things that I was going to ask about. So, in your, I don't know, pursue sort of whatever it is that you're pursuing, is that kind of what you would say you're pursuing in the sense of like when it comes to writing, is you would want to write for someone else?
Yeah, so right now I'm working with maybe about two or three artists on projects. I am ghostwriting for them. I'm coaching them through how to, the difference between a chorus, a verse, and a hook because they're three completely different
Right.
things. So I help people more with the structure of writing their songs. And then, just coaching them on anything that they may need help with. So yeah, that's ultimately my goal, just to be able to do more of
Have
that
you
kind of
recorded
stuff.
before? Like, do you have stuff that's recorded as
I
well?
have two recorded songs on YouTube, but one of them I actually like, but it's not really my style. It's a drill song. It's very Brooklyn. It's very hood,
Okay.
very explicit. That's not really my style.
Okay.
And then the second one is kind of like fun. I played around with like emo rap. It's like a rock rap song. So I
Okay.
do have two things recorded. But I'm not there yet as far as the delivery. We are still a work in progress with that, but I've done it for fun.
No, but I could tell from even like the way you come on in like your videos where you're doing like a verse or something like that, like it's fun for you. Is that like
It is
is that
fun.
true? Like
Writing
you're
is a
just
passion for me. I have a good time. I enjoy doing it. I mean, I could sit here and write songs for 8 hours. I literally have books and books and books and books of songs. It's like insane. I run through a composition notebook in like 3 days.
really
Yeah.
and you're writing full songs, or are you like doing
So
I used to write too, so like I know there's a lot of different styles of writing, especially when you're doing music. So what's your style? What is like your process?
I like to finish the entire song. I could listen to a beat and have a whole three verses for it in my head already because I read thesauruses, I read dictionaries. I've been reading since I was 3 years old. I would read encyclopedias front and back. I'm a big bookworm. So
Mm.
I know a lot of words and my vocabulary is very extensive. So when I hear the beat, I'm already thinking of punchlines and different bars. When it comes to the raps and the poems, I finish those. When it comes to a song, that takes me a little bit longer because I have to add in chorus, hook, another verse. It's different from writing a rap. A rap
Right.
and a poem just flows. A song, you're like, each one is telling a story, but a song is a little bit different because you're playing with melodies.
Mm.
There's high notes, there's low notes, there's a lot that goes into writing a song. And so I have some songs that are not complete. I'll have like two verses and a chorus, but I gotta finish the hook and the other verse. So that's kind of like my style.
So when you're writing these songs, do you just like do searches on like YouTube for beats, or like where you pulling the beats from?
I pay for beats sometimes. I like to find artists on YouTube that sell their beats. I've come across one. His name is Cosfinger. He's got really, really dope beats. I buy a lot from him. I've met some people on TikTok that also sell beats. I actually got the opportunity. If you want to hit this guy with a follow, his name is B Man Beats. He is a producer in LA, and he actually has worked with Snoop Dogg and E40. He just worked on E40's last album, and so I'm also working on projects with him as well. And just playing around with that.
Now, it's interesting because you said you're not really doing music like that, right? But you've
Hmm.
paid for beats. So like it's like do you kind of like go back and forth? Like some days you're like I'm here for it, and then other days you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna write for someone else.
I still want to write for someone else. I don't think at this point in my life where I'm at, I want to be an artist. I feel like if that was something I was going to go for, I should have started that not at 25. And not to put an age limit because you can achieve your dreams at any age. Like
Right.
age is just a number. But I'm content with where I am in my life right now, and I feel like being more behind the scenes is more my, that's my calling. So I do purchase beats, but I do that because when I write a song, I want the full credit for the song. So like all of the verses that I put up on my page with lyrics, everything I do is copywritten actually.
So
Yeah.
okay, so when you're writing these, you already have kind of like a back catalog of the verses, the songs, and the
Yes.
beats, so that you could like you're putting together a package that you could sell an artist. Like you already got this beat, I already got here's everything. Like you could hit
Exactly.
them with everything at once.
Like I've sold 3 songs already. So like there's an artist that has a song on Spotify that I sold. I've sold 3 songs so far. So I that's like important to me. I need to make sure that the beat is purchased, everything is copywritten.
Oh wow, okay. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that you're definitely treating it more of a songwriter. Um, I don't
Business.
want to say, yeah, I was gonna say business, or I was kind of going towards like a career, but like you said, you're having fun with it really. So that's kind of why I wasn't really sure what to call it. Like it's like a hobby, but if it turns out to be I'm gonna be a writer, like that would be the end game,
Exactly.
sort of. Okay. And
Exactly.
it's funny because a couple of times on this series, I've talked to people that what they're doing right now didn't start out the way that they're doing it currently. Like they might have a current job or something that they're being very successful at, or a business, and it started with something completely different, and then through working and doing other things, it just turned into something else. So maybe that's what's gonna happen for you too.
We'll see. I feel like that has happened with my TikTok because ultimately, like, I've always been a writer. So, right, I've written creative stories. I've won. awards for creative writing in school. Like writing is something I've just always done. It comes natural to me. And so I feel like with TikTok, it just, my TikTok blew up and I was just like, wow, I can't believe people are actually listening to what I have to say. Cuz that was my main thing. I always felt like the words that I write wouldn't resonate, or it's not. I even went through a point where I was like, should I change the way I'm writing? Because I wanted to grow more. And I got a little discouraged because I noticed like we have artists like Ice Spice who's coming out. And I'm more of an old school wave. I like Big Pun, Beware. I like,
Yeah.
all of the old school stuff. And I'm like, maybe I need to change my style up. So I play with around with that a little bit every now and then, but I'm not happy writing those type of lyrics because to me they don't have substance.
It's funny because like I know when like so again for me I used to write I used to have a recording studio. I used to be a audio engineer, and a lot of what I personally was doing at that time when I first started was whatever was hot at the time,
Yeah.
and then I got to a point where my life didn't reflect that anymore, and nor did my mindset. So I was more on a path of like spirituality, more
Yep.
of like awakening, and I was very like conscious. So I moved away from like that kind of writing, and I started to write stuff that was more conscious. But it was weird because the vibe wasn't there yet. So I stopped doing music, and then maybe like 5 years later, we get like J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, like we get all the like conscious
More,
rap.
yeah.
And I was like, damn, yo, maybe I should go back to music. Like, and I was like, nah, I think that time has passed. And I was kind of already out of the loop from music. And, the passion is always there, but I
Yeah.
never really was like, I should go back and do it. But it was a good, for me, same thing that you were saying. Like, I've been writing for forever as well. In high school, I was like writing poetry that I was like, you know what? I was in the male choir and like in the choir in high
Oh
school.
wow. I
And
was in a chorus too. I was in major chorus. I
yo,
was a soprano because I have a high pitch, but I
yeah, see,
can't
I was in love with it, man. Like I like, and it was one of those things that I first did it like it was like an elective. Like I just took the class, and
Yeah.
then I remember. So our choir director was actually like legally blind, right? So
Oh wow.
so we're in the class and we're singing in class or whatever, and everybody just be like whatever. So for me, I kind of wasn't taking it serious. I'm just singing, and then I joke around a lot. So I start playing around in this while we're singing, and he's like, "Who is that over there?" And I'm like, "Oh shit."
About you.
He's like, come here. And I'm like, oh, it's because I'm joking around and shit. Like, he's like, I'm about to get in trouble. So he like calls me
Uh-oh.
down, and then he's like, you should come out for the choir. And I was like, what? Like, so the thing is, like, obviously, they got an ear, so he was like picking it out from, and this is high school, so I guess it was like a baritone or some shit like that. And then that was like my freshman year. Then my junior and senior year, I was a bass. My
Oh
my my
wow. So
my
you
voice
played
got
around
deeper and
with
shit.
different melodies and vibrations.
Yeah, so then it was cool, but I loved it, and because I was already like writing poems or whatever, I'm like, well, maybe I should do music. And then it just through that, I originally thought I was gonna be doing R&B. I was also like, yo, we singing in this choir, like I'm gonna be singing.
I might
And
have to
then
hear a little something one of
I
these
got
days.
I got stuff on YouTube too that I recorded. And then earlier when you were like, yo, I might have to spit some, I was like, well, I might have to spit some too then.
Okay.
Oh, no, 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 but we'll
We're gonna
save
do
that
a
for the
whole
end.
collaboration, guys.
We're gonna save that for the end. But I definitely have I'm interested to see, like, for you. I know you live in Florida now, but you're not from Florida. So I'm
No.
interested to hear your early influences in music, being that you're from New York.
I'm gonna have to say I'm definitely a big Tupac fan because it goes back to that conscious rapping. He was
Okay.
talking about a lot of things. I read, his poetry book. I was a big Tupac fan, but then I'm from Brooklyn, so I also loved Biggie. I grew up listening to Biggie. I'm also very versatile though. I feel like I have a mix of different things. I love all kinds of music, really. So I can't pick just a certain set. Like I feel like I was influenced by a lot of different types and genres of music. I used to listen to La Isla, from Madonna, which
So
I don't know
everything
what's
really.
happened to her nowadays, but
Yeah, I have no idea when it
I
comes to
love Madonna. Loved
when it
Madonna.
comes to conscious people and conspiracy theories. This is what I'm gonna be very very conscious of what I'm saying. There's theories
Yeah.
about that, so we'll leave it at that. I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm on board with what you're saying. I'm here with you. I'm here with
nah,
you.
I know I could talk to you a certain way because I've been in your lives before and I heard certain
Yeah,
things that you say and I've seen your videos. Which is another question that I have, but we're gonna save that for a little bit. Because I before I move into that, I kind of want to just
yeah.
also your the fact that you started to rap or like turn your poetry into raps. I'm interested. Like, what was? Do you remember what your first like poetry or like what you were what inspired you to write poems just like in the beginning?
In high school, I went to a very interesting high school, in Bushwick. It was actually an alternative school. I was a teenage mom, so
Mm.
I had to finish school. So I ended up going to this school, and they were like very revolutionary. Like, I mean, the walls were painted with Malcolm X quotes, Black Panther images. It was a very cultural school. There's nothing like it. I don't know any other school that's like that except maybe the Nelson Mandela School in Brooklyn. But I mean, this school was just completely different, and we focused a lot on being ourselves, finding ourselves as people, which you don't get in a normal high school. You know what I
Right.
mean? And we spoke a lot about culture and political science and things like that. And so in high school when I graduated, I actually won the Ashe Award. It's actually hung up in my living room. It's like the most prestigious award you can get at that school, and it was for being a spiritual influence on staff and students, which meant
Oh,
like so much to me because I was able to do that through my writing, through different discussions that we would have in the classroom. I had one teacher, his name was Tabari. He's like, I'm still in touch with him today on Instagram, and he taught my mother too. So like now this is
wow.
expanding generation.
Damn, that's crazy.
And he had such an impact on my life, but he would always push me to go up in front of the class and recite poems. And then from there, I just like I never stopped.
Wow, that's dope. See,
Mm-hmm.
like for me, I remember we had first of all, I would have to go back for me for like poetry. My in fourth grade, we had like a writing assignment,
Yeah.
and it was gonna be one of those things where like if you won or whatever, they were gonna pick from the poems, you would get to read it in front of the whole school. And my thing was like I didn't want to win, like that wasn't
Yeah.
my intention at all. Because I at the time I was speaking in front of people back then for me
It
was
was
like
scary.
my like everything would I get hot, my neck would be I'm
Oh
like
no.
I get so nervous back then, like like reading in class, like I hated reading in class, like which eventually like made me want to read out loud more often just so I could get better at it. I'm like, yo, I hate that feeling. But I remember my dad was like, he saw the assignment and was like, what are you gonna write about? And I'm like, I don't know. Like it's like it's fourth grade. Like I wasn't an academic child like that at all. Um, and he's like, so it was like fall outside. He's like, why don't you write about the leaves? And I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even understand what he was talking about.
That's actually a great topic to
Yeah,
write
and it
about.
was more like
Great things you could say.
that was the other thing. They didn't give us a topic. It was like a poetry contest type thing, but it was a
Okay.
lesson. Like you had to do it. Like it was an assignment. I mean,
Yeah.
so long story short, my dad made me write about some leaves, and he read it a few times. It was like, well, maybe you should change some of it, and he gave me like some feedback. So I went and changed it, handed it in. Like 2 weeks later, my teacher's like, so your poem was picked, and I was like, what? Yo, immediately I already knew what that meant. Like I was gonna have to read this
That's
thing
amazing
in
though.
front of the whole school, and it was so nerve wracking. But at that point in my mind was like, I could write poems, so like it always was
Yeah.
like there. But it wasn't until high school again, another writing assignment, and it was the first A that I got in my English class my senior year. Like I remember it like it was during like the one of the wars that was America's fighting some war in
Hmm.
Iraq or something, and I was like writing, yeah, because it was after 9/11. So I was writing um something about the soldiers, like that's what it was called, the soldiers in the heat or something like that, or soldiers in
Okay.
heat. And I got an A for it. So like my first assignment that I ever got, I'm like, yo, maybe I should really write more. Like
Yeah, you
this
got
is something that this
inspired.
is the second time that I got like a, and my teacher was like so for it. Like she wrote like notes at the bottom like this is amazing, and I'm like, what?
Wow, you felt
So
encouraged now.
yeah,
So
exactly. Somebody else had to see it first. You know what I'm
I
saying?
hear
And
you.
then from there, I started to use it as just an outlet to express myself. I didn't show nobody. I didn't, tell everybody I'm out here writing poetry because that shit ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? Like
It is cool. All
no,
right,
it is
I'm
cool
stopping right
now.
there.
Like
It
as
is
an adult
cool.
now, and like later on, I started to like, kind of embody it, but
Yeah.
not early on. Not my senior year of high school. Like that wasn't a cool thing to be out here talking about. But that is what introduced me or like kind of took me down the road of like maybe I should write rhymes, like this kind of rhymes and
I had
like
an assignment like that in fifth grade actually. We had to do an assignment with a poem as well, and then the poem would be put in an anthology book like of
damn.
poems. So there was five winners. I was one of the winners. So I actually still have that book too. It's just like a little school book of everyone's poems that won. And then I have two published poems in a Vibe Theater magazine.
Oh man, we
But
talking
that's
to
from years ago,
a
years
published
ago,
writer over here. We didn't even know
years
all that.
ago.
Okay. Yeah, but see that's what I'm saying. But those are like the stepping stones or like the foundation sort
Yeah.
of like things that to come. Because since then, like I've written a lot more stuff. Like I've written scripts, I've written um rhymes, like obviously like raps, I've written songs, like so many other things that you when you're a writer, you kind of especially musically influenced, you kind of have to explore all of that because
Yep.
there's really
Play
no
around.
end. Like you just got to play
I
with it all.
actually love reading scripts as well. I've never written one. But I
All
like
right.
acting too, so I love reading a script and then as I'm reading it to
Okay.
myself, pretending to be not just one character, but all of the
Oh,
characters
I'm gonna
in
have
the
to I'm gonna
script.
have to share with you my script because I just posted a scene from the pilot episode of a web series that I wrote. So if
Okay.
you haven't seen it, check it out later.
Yeah,
But we
definitely.
shot we shot the full pilot episode. So it is on my YouTube. Actually, not my YouTube. It's on the business YouTube page. But I have the full script. I have 6 episodes fully written, so I can share that with you so you can read them,
Okay. Go
get some
and take
feedback from you.
me.
I
I
like
gotta
I like
get
getting
you on
feedback on that.
YouTube.
Yeah, no, no, for sure. And I'll send you the link to the actual pilot episode because it's not like I said, it's not on my YouTube. It's on our business page.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I'll get you that too. You got to check it out. We got
Will
a
do.
lot of
Will do.
characters
Will do.
still that
Guys,
we
don't
need to
mind
fill.
me, okay? We didn't do any makeup. I look bold on the eyelashes today, okay? There's no lashes. There's
Why
nothing
you
on
say
my
that? Did
skin.
somebody make a comment? I'm like scrolling back now. Did
No, they
somebody?
didn't. But I know everyone's always used to see me with like, dolled up. Today we got the
Nah,
real raw
we prefer
Virgo queen.
the real person. Like we don't want the character or like the persona, or like whatever the real deal is. That's what we want. So
Someone told me in my
I
life
appreciate that.
earlier. They were like, "Oh my God, finally someone with real eyebrows on here." I'm like, I cannot. You guys are
That
too much.
and it's funny because if you have it, then they make a comment. If you don't have it, they make a
Yep,
comment. Like it's
yep.
you can't satisfy everybody.
That's
Um,
very true.
there's a when I was doing the promo video,
Hmm.
I wasn't sure if you would define yourself as a content creator or an influencer, and if there's a difference. Do you think there's a difference?
I do think there's a difference. A lot of people have, like, some of my coworkers, they all call me an influencer. Like, my coworker will be like, "Oh my God, you're my favorite influencer," and I'm like, I don't consider myself to be an influencer. I think I am a content creator because the content is my poetry and my raps, right? And there's a lot of work that goes into it. There's time that you're taking to sit there and write. There's time that you're taking to go through beats. And then filming comes into play. Like sometimes I play around and I use filters, but then I have other videos where like I'm putting pieces together. I'm editing videos. I'm trying to organize, well, how is this gonna go? I'm filming me rapping on camera 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times until I feel
Right.
like the delivery is okay. So I feel like I'm more of a content creator.
Okay. And that yeah, so I think that's what I put in the promo, but
Yeah.
that was something that I wanted to see from your perspective. If there was and I agree. Like I agree that um most people are content creators. Not everybody's an influencer.
Yeah.
But I also think that you probably don't realize you influence people through the content. So I think eventually you become
Yeah.
an influencer, but you might not be might like you might not know that you are because the people that you influence, right,
Hmm.
may not always tell you that they're influenced by you. Also, you might not,
That's true.
you
Very true.
might not get that direct hey, thank you for what you do. But I think once you get that, that's how you know that you're an
Yeah.
influencer.
When
Just so
I
you know.
think of influencer, for some reason, I think of like girls that do like makeup tutorials and beauty products. I feel like or they show you how to do something like someone who's a chef or cooks can also be an influencer. I just think it's a different category, but I understand what you're saying because it's true. Like content creators can influence people; they do influence people.
Yeah.
So I
And
get
it's funny because it wasn't until I was kind of thinking about this about you that I started to think about it about myself. And I'm like, am I a content creator or influencer? Like, and I'm like, well, I know for sure I'm a content creator because I create
yeah,
content. I'm a writer, and I that's first thing that comes to mind is like, what do you do? I'm a writer. Like,
yeah,
you know, I'm an actor. Like those are the things that come to mind as, you know, first. I know that I love mentoring people. I know that I love, you know, working with the mind and things like that. So for me, those are the things that kind of become the forefront. Like, and it doesn't, the first thought isn't an influencer, but I do realize that the message that I share influences people.
yep.
And that also comes with a little bit of responsibility as well. So I think that's kind of something that is important, that as you influence people or you have a influence on people, that you're mindful that there's a responsibility that comes along with it too.
I agree 1,000%. I feel like that's why I don't do certain things on my platform. Like I've gotten so many different requests from people for me to like maybe do a blind reaction on something on a video or do something that I would deem inappropriate to myself so I don't, do it. But I agree 100% with what you're saying. That's why I feel like I navigate a little bit differently when it comes to certain things, and I try to stay grounded in who I am as a person because a lot of the times on social media, I feel like we can get caught up in viewership numbers. I'm not doing enough, and it's funny because I saw an amazing video on TikTok. God, I wish I remembered this woman's name, but she said, imagine if she said something like, just because you get 300 views on a video, don't feel stuck. Don't feel like you need to do more. Because if you go into a room and you put 300 people in a room and 200 out of the three are listening to what you have to say, are you going to be like, I'm stuck? I'm not growing? And I resonated with that. I'm like, that's so true. That's 300 people that you reached out to that are listening to what you have to say, that enjoy your content. Like, we have to be grateful for what, where we have where we are, okay,
Yeah.
and from where we started. So
Yo,
that just resonated with.
that resonates with me big time because I had a conversation. Um, I had two separate conversations, two separate people. But one of the conversations went like this. It's like, hey, so how's that show going? I'm like, it's going great. Like, oh, you making money? I'm like, making money. I said, bro, I posted all the episodes on YouTube, and last week the most recent episode that I posted got 34 views. They were like, I'm like, bro, the first video I posted only has 6. Like,
That's
do
growth.
the math, bro. Like, so to me, it's like, yo, I'm definitely past the point where the numbers mean everything to me. Like, I'm to the point where like growth is most important to me. Like, I just want to grow, and if I could see that there's some type of growth, I'm with it. Like, I'm
And
happy as hell.
for me, it's quality over quantity. Like
Amen.
the quality of people that are watching your content, you never know who's watching. You
Yeah.
might not have 1,000 views or 2,000 views, but you might have one person that's connected to somebody else within those 34 views. And it's like,
Facts.
hey, this guy's awesome. Let me share his content. And maybe he knows somebody in production. Like, this is how people get their start. This is how things work. Like, and that's why I say, like, I never get caught up in that type of stuff. I just keep going with what I'm doing.
Yeah, and that's, see, for me too. Like, I'll try different forms of creator.
Hmm.
I want to create different things. I want to try this. I want to try this, but I never get hung up, like stuck in one for too long. Or like, oh my god, I gotta perfect this thing. It's like, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see how it feels. If it don't feel right, or if it's not really my thing, it's like whatever. And then I feel the same thing about people. Like, I don't get too hung up on like trying to create a relationship or doing certain
Yeah.
things, because it's like, if this person ain't it, it's not it. And with content now, I'm starting to realize, like, I early on I tried to perfect the edits, and I try to perfect the message, and am I looking, on camera, looking a
Yeah.
certain way,
Yeah.
like,
I've
and
been through that.
this is going back like years when I first started making um videos. I used to post videos on YouTube that were kind of like motivational, sort of like that was the lane that I wanted to be in.
Yeah.
Um, and now, like, now that I'm like, I feel like I'm the most me that I've ever been, now.
Most
And now I look
authentic
back and I'm
self.
like, yeah, like, and I look back, I'm like, what was I doing? Like, what was I trying to do back then? That, like, it was like, trying to make sure that the message was received a certain way. But I will say that TikTok kind of helped, like, really, really help me realize that the right people are gonna see it. Given, granted, there's an algorithm and all of that
Yes.
helps it, but it does show. And you actually just mentioned this too, though. It's gonna bring the right people, and that's just like life. Like,
Yes.
you
You're
be
gonna
yourself, and then
align
you're gonna.
yourself with those
Yes,
who
there you go. You took
are
it out of my mouth. Go ahead.
like-minded, who support you. I think you're very versatile. I like the fact that you've tried different things and different areas to create, because that makes you knowledgeable. It makes you versatile, and you can actually give more to people with all of that you carry.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
You're welcome.
But that actually is part of, like, I guess, like, what I probably saw in the content that you put out as well. Like, there's like the, funny side, like there's like the comedy sort of in there. Then there's a little bit more of like, yo, this is what's, hey, I like that. uh
Ayati.
but then there's also like the side of you that is like straightforward and like, yo, I'm here, I got things going on, like, I hope y'all know. Thanks for the follow. I hope y'all know that I'm a real person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got real shit going on too. And that's the reason why I started this series. Like, the whole thing is, this is my story. Like, what is your story, and how your story connects with other people, that they know that you're also going through it, or somebody else is going through it. You know what I mean? Or they made it through it, like what they're going through. So, um, I really think that that's a great way for people to connect. Is just through, I don't want to say storytelling, but yes, storytelling in the sense of what is our story and what is our truth. So,
It's funny because I forgot to mention this. So before I actually started promoting my poetry and raps, I tried to get my podcast going on here. That came before initially.
oh,
But
okay.
no one was resonating with my podcast because it's so out of the box, out of the norm. People weren't listening to it on this platform. But I do have a podcast. It's on Spotify and Apple. It's
Okay.
called Outside of the Matrix, and it's based on conspiracy theories, but it's not just conspiracy theory. What I do is I take the theory, explain what it means, break it down, and then connect it to current events and things that are going on in today's world.
What?
People didn't
There's
resonate
wait,
with
wait, wait.
that on
There,
here.
did you stop making them, or are you still doing it?
No, so unfortunately, the last episode aired June of 2022, but that's because I had equipment
June of
issues.
2020. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So once I get my microphone back, because I edit everything, I edit all the sound clips, sound bites, everything I do myself. I completely produce the whole show
Okay.
myself. But once I get my microphone and my laptop back up and running, then we're gonna be shooting 10 more episodes. But yeah, it's actually doing well. I mean, I have
Do you do
listeners
it?
in
Do you do it like
social.
this? Like when you say on this platform, were you doing lives? And
I
how
wasn't
are you
doing
doing
it
it?
live because of the topics. Like, I
Oh, yeah,
speak
yeah, yeah.
very differently on the podcast. It's a totally different vibe. And I'm not able to say those kind of things on live,
Right.
unfortunately.
Got you. Okay.
So what I would do is I would just post clips of the podcast on my TikTok. But initially I wanted to be a podcaster. That's what I
What
wanted to represent myself as.
when you were posting those videos, were they were you already at like 10,000?
No, this had to be the very beginning. Like,
I think you should probably start posting some of those again, maybe. Like, now I think that for everything that you explained, I feel like
yeah.
that's the content that you put out now. Like, it seems like right on par with who you are, like, on here.
I had to get the following to get people pushed over.
Yes.
So like now I have a lot of the people that are following me here on TikTok. They've transferred over and subscribed to my Spotify, my Apple Podcast, and they're listening. But
It's
before that,
so, yo, that's
again,
so
it's
interesting
so
because
hard. It's like pulling teeth.
so for me, similar, sort of the same. So I've been trying to put together a podcast for a minute, and hence why I have some of the equipment that I have. I was already like, okay, I want to do this. I want to do it on this platform. Like there was a lot of things I was doing, but in kind of like just being on TikTok, like a regular, just a user, just scrolling and liking videos, I would see a lot of like people with microphones, and I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this from? You know what I mean? Like, what is this video from? Is this a podcast? And then I would go check out their podcast. I'm like, that's all right. But I started to realize they were using TikTok. It got me hooked to go check it out. So I'm like, oh, that's how I should do it. Like, I'm gonna do my podcast. I'm gonna take my little snippets. I'm gonna put it on TikTok, and then I'll kind of go that route. But then I started to see people on live with the microphone. And I'm like, yo, what are they doing? Like, is that something different?
People do their podcasts on live, yes.
Yeah. So kind of what happened with me was like, yo, maybe I should just try it here, do it live. And then what sold me on it was the fact that TikTok records the videos and you could just download it.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, they're doing all the work for me. Like I'm gonna just do my lives. I'm gonna do the show here. And this was the great thing too. I wanted to kind of have somewhat of like an interview like thing, come up with topics or whatever. Like I had some things in mind that I wanted to try out. But then I'm like, wait, I would have to have a studio set up. I have to have people come in and then or call in or like some other type of Zoom or something. And this took that away. Like here you are, you're in Florida. I interviewed DJ Big Lou 2G out in Cali. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I could interview people pretty much from anywhere in the world now.
Yeah, it's more accessible.
Yeah, so this changed everything. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, I don't even have to worry about all that. Like, and it made it easier. So I think it's a great platform for that. And it's funny because with the story you said earlier about your daughter, for me it was like my kids were on TikTok, and I'm like, I gotta watch them. I gotta see what they're doing. So I originally got it for that, and then shortly after, maybe a few months later, my sister and I, we have these phone calls where like we start talking about everything from spirituality, conspiracy theories, life, and everything
going
else.
into the rabbit hole.
Yeah, so we got to a point where we're like, man, we should have recorded that. And the same thing with me and my girl, we'd be in the car sometimes. We're like, damn, we should have recorded that. And then I was like, man, we got to do something on TikTok. And Serene, my sister's like, yo, we got to get to 1,000 followers. Like we got to do this so we could do this on live. And that's kind of like how it started.
I love it. That was like a whole motivation factor.
Yeah, like we had a plan, and we kind of do that. She actually has her own series that she does on TikTok now. She has two different things that she does, but it's been great. Like it kind of has aligned us with our purpose even more because we were already doing some of this stuff in person and like in our community sort of. But now we just have a bigger reach now. People all over the place that could hear the message. So.
I'm glad we met. Like, you have such a dope crew of people. I mean, I love everything that you're about. I'm so happy to be on with you today because I enjoy like content like this. You know what I mean? Something that has substance, that people can connect with and relate to. So, I mean, you have my support 1,000 times over.
Well, I'm gonna hold you to that because as you're writing or anything that you do, I already know you're gonna do a lot of things. So anything you do, I'm always gonna bring you back on. Like I said, I've committed to myself at least 3 seasons. I said like I know that like I kind of have a personality that sometimes if I get bored with something, I'm like I'm off it. But sometimes you have to kind of stick through certain things to really see the fruits of your labor. So I said, I'm gonna do 3 seasons. I'm committing to 3 seasons, 10 episodes with a 4-week break in between. And then, I'll do 3 and then reevaluate what this is and where we're at. But so far, like, man, I've got to conversate with people, and inviting people onto the series that I honestly would have never thought I was going to connect with. Like, there's these guys that are on the show that I watch on TV that I've interacted with on here to get them on.
Wow.
So I'm like, yo, this is kind of crazy. Like you really never know the possibilities. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I know that you we already had spoke that you might have things to do at a certain time. So I don't want to hold you too much longer.
I feel like the conversation was flowing.
Yeah. So that's why I kind of want to bring it up now because
pay attention to the time.
I made the mindset. I told myself that like a 10-minute warning to like make sure I check in with you to see. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to hold you too long. I respect your time. So I'm just kind of making you aware of it as well. Like if you got
Thank you.
something to do,
Appreciate that. I could
you know what I'm
sit here and
saying?
talk to you all day. Like,
Yeah. No, I could too, but I just want to make sure I'm not taking too much of your time at the same time. So I'm just looking at my notes to see if there's anything specific that I wanted to maybe check, like ask, but I think I got all of it. There was actually this one thing, which is, since we've already kind of talked about it a little bit, you don't got to go into detail, especially because certain things you can't say. Uh, but so I noticed that this is the way I wrote it. I said, I noticed that you're woke, um, but more so, my question is really, when would you say was your awakening?
the day I was born, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh,
I have what's called a photographic memory. So
oh,
I have, I forget stuff sometimes, of course, like everyone else. But when it comes to like core memories, I can remember things from like when I was young. I can remember scenes down to like specific details. I think that's what helps me with my writing too, because I memorize and then recite as well. But other than that, I've also had a lot of spiritual experiences. This is gonna sound crazy, but one time in
nothing,
my
no,
grandmother's
nothing's crazy
house,
here. No,
I
nothing's crazy
I
here.
saw Jesus like in the
Okay.
window, like come to me in light.
Hmm.
And I struggle like everybody else with dark and light, situations. But I am a light being, and I've felt that love and comfort since a very young age. And I've always been very clairvoyant about situations. I also have manifested a lot of things in my life, and I believe in power of the tongue. I would
Hmm.
say something, and next thing you know, here I am doing it. I mean, I left New York with nothing but a car and my clothes, and I'm here in Florida
Real quick,
doing what I
you
dreamt, what
said
I
something.
what I
I
saw.
I don't mean to cut you off, but there's something that you say that I kind of want people that are in here to hear. Because every time you say it, I'm like, oh, that's such a good thing. What do you say when somebody says, I'm feeling sick?
You're never sick. You have to say, I'm healing. I'm healing, because it's true. It's power of the mind and tongue. If you really believe that you're healing, your body will start to heal. Like
Yep.
I tested that 100 times over. When I had COVID, I was like, I'm healing, I'm healing, I'm healing. And 2, 3 days later, thank God I was good. But your mind is a powerful tool, man. If we knew how to tap in and use 100% of our minds, we'd be freaking superheroes.
Yep. Yeah, I knew. Again, I'm always paying attention to the way people use their tongue, like the way that they
Yeah.
speak and the way that they carry themselves and things like that. But more importantly to me is when people, and I don't want to say correct, because what you're doing is actually guiding someone. They don't realize the harm that they're causing to themselves by saying those things. So the first time I heard you say it, that was to me. That's why I'm connecting it here when I'm asking about being woke. Um, that just shows like the level of consciousness that you're at this point, and that you understand that you kind of have a responsibility, that with that information, that you see someone doing something like that or saying something like that, there's more to it, that happens. So that's my sister, Awakening Faith 8. She said words are spells.
Hi, Awakening
um
Faith.
so
Let me
so
know.
that was kind of I was just very interested to like hear that, since I had your time in a sense. But I am gonna kind of turn it over to the comments. This is where I typically leave the last few minutes, and turn it over to the people and see if they want to ask you any questions, maybe make any comments, or anything like that. So if anybody's in here, they want to share anything, this would be the time. We kind of had we had decided that 8 o'clock would kind of be the
Yes.
cutoff. Again, I don't want
I
to.
gotta go pick up my son from band, and I
Okay,
think I gotta
okay.
go show love in somebody's battle. But
Nah, that's dope,
mostly, I
man.
gotta pick up my son from band.
Look, like I tell everybody, we appreciate the time. Time is our the one thing we don't get back. You know what I'm saying? More than anything else, we don't get that back. So I appreciate your time. My sister's invited you to come to Witch Out Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
So tomorrow,
Okay.
what's the best song you've written? That's a question,
The
Mr. Cheese.
best song I have written. I don't have a favorite. They're all different. They all stem from different emotions, because I write from my heart as well. Sometimes I write just to write, but most of the time it comes from a place of feeling. Um, And so each one is special to me. I don't have a favorite.
Yeah, you have a little something that you
Yeah,
wanna
I spit a
yeah.
little twin.
I,
This is
I,
the most
I
recent
almost I almost
one.
forgot about asking about it, so I'm glad that good shit, Mr. Cheese with the layup. I almost forgot that I was gonna ask if she had something that she wanted to spit real quick for
Do
us.
we want to go? I'll
Where
let
we
the
want to go?
audience pick. Do we want to
Oh,
go like poetry style or do we want to go like a little rap style?
hmm. All right, people. She's giving y'all the choice. You
Poetry
want
or
the
rap?
rap or you want the poetry?
Which one?
Rap, poetry, rap, poetry, rap. That could rap, that
Poetry? All right,
poetry.
let's go with the
All
poetry.
right,
I had
Mr.
a
Cheese
feeling you
first on
guys
the
were
ball.
going to
Let's
go
go.
first. All right. Truth is, I could spit over anything. I don't care for a crown because my energy, everything. My wordplay varies, the bars that I carry across my mind through fields of word galaxies. I went to school for the gifted and talented, my inhibitions uninhabited. I got a certain je ne sais quoi about me. Come get your palate wet. Get set because I'm a threat. Don't forget, I'm the one who make them sweat. Go against me and you're sure to regret. I'm like the queens of Tibet, even my silhouette is sexy. Have you stumbling over your words like you got Tourette's. And I ain't French, but every day I guess the baguette. Hold up, let me hit the reset, cause I'm going too hard. I wear my life on my sleeves, but you'll never know my next card. Mouth so filthy, I stay getting barred like soap. They don't want to hear about my scars, nope. They don't want to know how I've been jarred, so they disregard till I bombard their timelines with bars upon bars. I want y'all to sing for me like y'all in Kanye's choir. Dress me in queen attire, call me sire, for I'll forever be your number one bar supplier.
Uh,
Oh, thank you
let's
guys. Thank you
go.
for the love. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I was a
Oh,
little
I'm glad you.
nervous.
Hey, let's go. Though. I'm glad he picked poetry. I'm so used to hearing he's snapping fingers.
Snap, snap,
I'm so
snap.
used to hearing the delivery normally being in the rap
Yeah.
style. So I'm glad it was a little bit of slam poetry.
Yep.
I like that. Definitely
Thank you
dope.
so
Thank you,
much,
man.
guys.
That was dope. I appreciate that. Awesome.
I appreciate you.
Any
Thank you so much for having me.
Nah, honestly, like I said, for me, this is the last episode of the of season one. So I truly appreciate you coming on. I'm glad that I was able to end season one with a bang. And yeah, man, I'm gonna I'm gonna stay in tune with you. I'm gonna continue to watch what you're doing. I'm gonna continue to support anything that I could do to help. You know what I'm saying? Like reach out. And yeah, man, I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time more than anything. So,
It's been
um,
a blast. And one thing I want to tell you as well, thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to me. I mostly battle on my lives, and you always come in, you show love. It's never about the gifts, it's always about the support, the love. Um, that's the most number
It's
one
Virgo
important.
gang. You know what I'm saying?
You
Virgo gang
already
out
know
here.
the vibes. Big
Eight
Virgo
eight
vibes.
twenty three. You know what I'm saying? Virgo gang in
824,
here.
baby. Nah,
So
thank you
yeah,
so much,
definitely.
Zeus. I appreciate it, man. I
No
had a
doubt.
lot
No
of fun
doubt.
with this interview.
Chill. Word. All right. So go ahead, do what you got to do. I'm gonna do a little sign off here,
All
to
right.
end off the seasons. But again, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Have a blessed night.
You too.
Bye.
And that was dope. Um,
Oh,
yeah, man. So we did it.
wait,
We made
can
it.
you
Oh.
disconnect me? Won't let me
It's
disconnect.
like when you're trapped in a room and you can't get out. What do I do? She said, "Can you disconnect me?" Yeah, man. I feel like you know what. Let me turn the music off real quick. Um, I got a few things that I wanna say. Ending off the season one, man. I want to thank everybody that kind of pushed me to do this. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Serena. Shout out to Janine, Crystal. Y'all kind of were the initial people to be like, yo, you got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Jessica, thank you so much for, making sure that I had the time and you made the space for me to be able to do this. I know we just getting started, but for me, it's a long time coming. You know what I'm saying? I've been working on this in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different versions. So I'm not gonna lie, like being able to say I wrapped up season 1, and I put in the time, man. I put in the effort. I love you too, Serena. I have to shout out Awakening Faith. I have to shout out L Town Baller, Crystalina 86, Anine, Mark L, DJ Big Lou 2G, Mr. R. Ortiz, The Real Talk with Ruby, and Virgo Queen. Obviously, you can't have a show without guests. You know what I'm saying? So I have to shout out all my guests. We made it to episode 10, man. I'm not gonna lie. There was some days that I was like, we could skip a day. But I have to tell you guys, there's a few things that I've learned throughout this process, and you can't skip a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, the enemy, whatever that enemy is for you, the enemy's always working. Whether that enemy is mental health, whether that enemy is, a hater, whether that enemy is just somebody that is weighing you down. And it comes in a lot of shapes and forms. You know what I'm saying? Yes, consistency is key for sure. But just know that those challenges and those things are put there for a reason. It's to test you. It's to test to see what your mental capacity is. It's to test to see whether or not the things that you're working towards, and the things that you want, if you're willing to push past the bullshit. So you got to make sure that when you say you're going to do something, commit to it. When you say you want something, start to put that thing in action. Put a date on it. Put a date put a date and time on it. It's going to make you work harder. It's going to make you push for it. There's a lot of things that I'm working on right now, and lately my thing is putting a date, putting it in the calendar, and saying this is happening by this date, and then it's a matter of putting everything into that. Through this series so far, I've learned a lot from a lot of people. I hope you guys have taken some things, and for those of you who haven't been able to see, this is all posted on my YouTube page, and there's a link in my bio so you can see all the previous episodes. We started this with the idea and the hope that through sharing stories by the guests who come on and share their stories, by me sharing my stories throughout the series, you'll find out that there's other people going through the same thing you're going through, or there's people that have gone through what you're going through and they made it out on the other side. And sometimes you find out how they did it. Sometimes you find out that it didn't go as they planned. It turned out even better. So I basically want to invite you to continue to come back, continue to hear these stories. Personally, I grow every time, I have a new guest on. I know that I'm learning about myself and other people, and just, growing, like that's something that I've committed myself to is growing. And, I think the way we do that is by sharing our stories. So I continue to invite you guys to do the same. Other than that, my link tree is in my bio. My Instagram is there. You could follow you can follow me there. You can subscribe to the YouTube. We have a bunch of things that we're working on, and I'm very grateful for the people I have working with me. I want to again make a quick shout out to a few people, and I've already said some, but I feel like it really means a lot to me, the support that I get from these people. So this episode was kind of sponsored by Draped Up. Shout out to Café con Leche. We have a lot in the works as well. We're working on some things. Shout out to Mr. Cheese. He did the logo for TIMS Tuesday. He also does all of my artwork for the thumbnails that you guys see on my YouTube. So shout out to him for that. I really appreciate all the love and support that I've been getting. Everybody who's come on the show, I really appreciate you guys. And we're going to continue to do this. We're going to continue to share the word and share the message, because I know even if only one person gets the message and one person is affected. Real Talk with Ruby, what up? Ruby, what's going on? You probably missed it. I was just shouting you out. So maybe you heard me and you came. But yeah, this is the final episode of season 1, and I'm just very grateful for everybody who's showed love and support. And we're just continuing to grow. It's growth over consistency, and we're gonna continue to do this. And I'm very grateful for everybody that I've met along the way. But this is just the beginning. We are just getting started. You know what I mean? You missed it, but don't worry about it. It's on YouTube. You can hear the full playback tomorrow. We will, obviously post this as well. As always, I want to thank everybody for their time. That's the one commodity we cannot get back. So thank you guys so much. Virgo Queen, I appreciate you. We had a great episode. I know this was definitely a great episode. Yeah, shout out to everybody, man. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, I like to leave it off with that, man. Thank you guys again. Be back in 4 weeks, and in the next 4 weeks, we're going to continue to put out content. We're going to continue to bring you the best version of me that I could bring you. And that's it, man. Season 1. It's a wrap. Episode 10. We done. We out. Leave it at that. I'm gonna let it ride for a little bit. I'm gonna just talk a little bit over the beat. Thank you, Ruby. I can't wait to see what you're gonna do on here too. We tuned in. We tapped in with you, Ruby. We waiting for you. Awakening Faith. Y'all go check out Awakening Faith. Follow Awakening Faith. Check out her series, Witch Out Wednesdays. Stay tuned. We got so much more for y'all. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for all the support. Don't forget that my Linktree has my Amazon wish list for all my supporters or anybody who wants to support to help keep this thing going. That's right. Keep working behind the scenes right now. That's all that matters. You getting it done. Whatever it takes. Remember, it's growth over consistency. Just keep doing your thing. I don't know what y'all think. Maybe I should get maybe I'll see if Virgo Queen wants to get on this beat. Maybe we turn this into an actual intro song. It won't just be an instrumental anymore. Maybe like get some like vocals on it. Hey. Battle? You think I should do a battle? Nah. Remember I post these directly to YouTube, so I'm gonna just let it rock a little bit. I'm letting that beat fade out. And that's all I was waiting for. I wanted that to end. Again, thank you. Salute to everybody who helped out with this. I appreciate y'all. This is the end of season 1, episode 10. Good night. Love you all. Peace.